Welcome back to the Homeowners Cookbook. Today I'm going to talk to you about our freestanding tub here, some tips and tricks for installing the freestanding tub, as well as how we made the shower tub combo work, some of the challenges we ran into, some of the things that we had to deal with. So I hope this is helpful for you. If you've got questions, throw them in the comments below. I'm always happy to talk through ideas or challenges that you may have, because chances are in your unique house, your situation is going to be different than our situation was. So in this space here, we wanted to have a tub and a shower. And a deep soak tub was something that was on our wish list. And we were like, can we make this work? Obviously, in the amount of space we have here, we couldn't make a tub and a separate shower work. There just wasn't enough room. The configuration would have been really funky and it wouldn't have worked, especially with a deep soak tub. And so what we decided to do is a deep soak tub and then add a shower on the wall rather than having a shower overhead. You could have done a rainfall shower. A couple of options there, right? Rainfall shower, but my wife really likes having a removable head, things like that. So we opted to do a shower on the wall. And then we ran into a challenge where we couldn't find a tub spout that was long enough to reach our tub. Because right here we've got it's about 8 inches before you get to the inside of the tub. And so we would have needed to have a tub spout that it was at least 8 inches at the shortest side of the tub spout. Obviously, there's not a lot of options out there. The options that were out there were really expensive. So what we opted to do is use a pot filler. And this pot filler actually works really well because you can swing it out, can turn it on. I installed a valve up here at the top to turn the shower piece off, and then just turn just like that, right? So just like a typical pot filler, you have the 2 valves, and the valve up top there controls whether it comes out of the shower or not. That's what we had to do to make it work. We ran into the challenge with the pot filler that it wasn't, even if you took the filter off the end of the pot filler, with this particular model that we got, it was maybe $100 off Amazon, and it didn't let out enough water to relieve the pressure enough to keep it from coming out of the shower head. So we had to install a little shut-off valve on the shower head itself. Works perfectly. You just flick that off if you want to use the tub. For us, that works. Maybe you don't want to have that inconvenience, but for us, the deep soak tub was a big deal. We wanted to have that, so we worked everything else around that. The other challenge we ran into was with a shower, you either need to have a drain in the floor or you need to have curtains that surround it. So what we did is I ended up doing a 360 shower curtain rod, which you can see there, out of copper. And I'll do a separate video talk in depth on some of the tips and tricks on building that, how I went about building that. So take a look at that. I'll throw a link in the description below. But basically what we've got is a couple of shower curtains. So we used 2 plastic curtains, one on either side, and we kind of wrap them around the shower head. It keeps the water out. We don't have a drain in the floor. I mean, obviously the floor is tile. The walls around the tub are all tile, so it's all sealed off. We made sure to do a really good job of grouting along that bottom edge, and then making sure that if we do get water on the floor, that we just wipe it up with a towel. Again, coming back to us wanting the deep soak tub, we decided that that was something we were willing to live with in order to get that deep soak tub, but not have to put a drain in the floor. So when it comes to installing the deep soak tub, when I installed this, I had no clue what I was doing. I'd never installed a tub before, let alone a deep soak tub that sits in the center of the room. So number one, make sure you've got good support down below. We have a couple of support walls downstairs just with the configuration of the rooms down there. So I knew I had a lot of support here. I redid the entire subfloor and got this whole thing level, redid all of the subfloor, put the backer board on, and then tiled on top of that. And that also gave me a chance to plumb this in and prep it for the tub. But again, because I had never installed a deep soak tub before, I didn't really know what to expect in terms of the installation of the tub and the drain of the tub itself. So this particular tub has a drain that's centered this way. So it's about 37 inches off of that side there. And then it sits right only a few inches off of this edge here. Now you could have the tub this way, or you could spin the tub 180 degrees and have the drain on the back wall. So when I installed the drain pipe in the floor, I put the drain towards the back wall, thinking that I would have the tub flipped around from its current configuration. But when I got the actual tub, what I found is the tub itself has about a 4-inch gap underneath it. So you've got supports in the tub, and then you've got the tub feet that stick down below the supports. And then what this tub came with, and as I've done more research, I've found that a lot of tubs come with a flexible drain pipe that hooks into the drain of the tub, and then it's got a 90 and then a flexible piece that then plugs into your floor drain. And so what I ended up doing is, because I had put the drain on the back wall according to the dimensions of the tub, there wasn't room for that 90 coming out of the tub plus the flexible, because that sat right over my floor drain. So I flipped the tub 180 so that I've got my drain coming down here, and then the 90, and then the flexible pipe comes over and down into my floor drain. So it ended up working out. But one thing I found was that I put 2 4x4s down on the floor and then put the tub on top of those. Then I did all of the plumbing work underneath that while the tub was elevated. And then what I did is I put the silicone caulking on the feet and then set the tub down, got it settled perfectly, and then put caulking around the outside. I did white caulking to just kind of blend in with the tub around. And then once all of that dries, that kind of seals your tub. There's no other securing that I needed to do for the tub in this configuration here. In hindsight, one thing that I would recommend is adjusting the feet on the tub. So on this tub, there were 4 feet that had screw adjustments to adjust the level. And it took me a few tries to take it off the 4x4, set it down on the ground, see if it was level, and then put it back on the 4x4s, adjust the feet a little more. And so I did that probably 3 or 4 times. But what I didn't factor in is the feet were down too far. And so the tub itself sat up maybe a 1/4 inch off of the floor. So my recommendation to you is tighten those feet up, get it down so there's barely a gap on this outside edge here. Make sure that the tub is sitting almost down on the floor, just off so you can get it level with the feet. And then you won't have to use as much caulking around to fill that gap. I ended up having to use almost a 1/4 inch of caulking around to fill the gap between the bottom of the tub and the floor. Not ideal in hindsight. I would have liked to lower that down and then have a better bead of caulking around the bottom. It works. The tub is obviously stationary. You can sit on the edge. You don't really notice it, but for me, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I wish I'd set that down further so there wasn't as big of a gap. Obviously, the feet of the tub are actually touching the floor, but the rest of it sitting off, and there's just caulking between the floor and the tub. That might come back to bite me later. If it does, then we'll just take it up, take the caulking off, readjust, set it back down properly. For now, it works well. Besides that, I mean, the shower valve is all standard shower head coming out of there. The only difference there from a normal shower head is we put the shutoff valve there because of the pressure. And what would happen is if you've got the shower head on and the tub on at the same time, as you can see, the water comes out of both at the same time. Unless you shut the valve off at the shower head, then you get full steam out of the pot filler. So that's one adjustment we had to make there. You may find that in your configuration, that's something that you have to do. The other thing to keep in mind is this tub sits about, if I move this rug, it sits about 21.5 inches off the floor. So if you have a hard time lifting your leg over to climb into the tub, now mind you, the floor of the tub is probably, it's maybe 5 to 6 inches up because you've got that 4-inch gap underneath plus the material. So it might be more like 4 to 5 inches off the floor is the bottom of the tub. Keep that in mind though, if you have trouble with mobility, you're either gonna wanna install handrail here or handrail here, or opt for another option where it's not the deep soak tub that you have to climb in and out of to shower. For us, I'll talk more again about the curtain rod in another video. For us, this configuration works great. It actually works better than I thought it was going to, and I really have no complaints. Both my wife and I are on the shorter side. I'm 5'6", think she's 5'4", 5'5", somewhere in there. So this works. If you're tall, this isn't gonna work because the tub puts you too high, unless of course you have more ceiling space and you put that shower valve higher up, then you're gonna have to deal with shortening up your shower curtain rod. Things to keep in mind: tape measure, handy thing to have. Do some measurements, figure out if this is gonna work for you. For us, this works, we love it. The only thing I might change besides putting the tub down closer to the floor is moving the shower head up, giving you more space. If we have someone over, a friend that's over taller, they have to shower downstairs because there's just not enough space here. What I would have done is shorten up the curtain rod rather than coming down, oh, what did I come down? 14 inches. I would have brought that up, taken the shower head up, because as you can see with the curtain here, we could come up another 4 to 6 inches and still have the curtain itself sit inside the tub. So that's what we did there. Again, if you've got questions about maybe your configuration, something that you're wondering about with this, how we went about this whole process, throw it in the comments below. I'm happy to talk through that. I couldn't find a lot of other videos about deep soak tubs and the installation of them when I was going to do this. And so my hope is that I can be there for you as you're going about installing a deep soak tub in your house. Keep in mind those couple of tips that I mentioned in this video. If you've got other questions, throw them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time.